All right, advisors, let's talk about lighting. And what do you do if you've got glasses? So in this video, we are going to be looking at 3 kinds of lights. The first is the best light, and thankfully it is also the least expensive. But not everyone has access to this, depending on your office configuration. The second will look at more portable lights, smaller lights that you can take with you, that are inexpensive, can easily be moved around. And then third, we'll be looking at bigger, usually more expensive studio quality lights. Let's dive in. So this is starting with my favorite light, which is natural sunlight coming in indirectly, right? It's not like it's sunrise or sunset coming straight through the window. It's that nice, soft, diffuse light, and it's free. So if you've got a window around you, it should always be behind the camera, just providing that really nice light. So like 90% of my videos or more that I do are only using the light from the 2 big windows that I've thankfully got here in my office. So this is what that looks like. The only light that I have right now is that natural sunlight coming in. And actually the 2 windows that I have are off to the side a little bit. So rather than me angling so that the light is coming directly at me, that can sometimes wash out your features a little bit, and we want to be able to see some shadow. So you can see there's just a tiny bit of shadow coming in, which provides a little bit of depth. So you'll see this side is a little bit darker, but that's okay. It provides depth, and we want that, which we'll be looking at as we look at the other lighting options. Okay, so how does that work with glasses on? Because I've got 2 big windows right there. Well, you can see it depends on where my head is tilted. So if it's up a little bit, you'll be able to see that reflection from the windows. If it's tilted down ever so slightly, and I'm actually standing up now, so I'm up pretty high. I'm a solid 2/3 of the way up the windows. So for a lot of people, it's fine, and that's actually not the worst thing, to see a little bit of that nature outside. I'm still looking right at eye level into the camera here with my head tilted just slightly down, and you'll see that the natural light comes nicely through the glasses. Sometimes one of the challenges with glasses and lighting is that it can create that shadow from the frame and have your eyes be darker, but you can see with nice window lights, it comes through nice and clear. So if you don't have windows in your space, or it's the time of year where it's really dark, or you find yourself doing meetings or videos at night, you're going to need some kind of fill light. So one of the things I want to point out first is that we want to try to not only illuminate our face, but have the background lit as well, because this look can be a little bit strange. It might not be the feel that you're going for. So what is the light that I have right now? This is actually a super tiny little cube light. So you can see it can actually just clip right onto your laptop screen. So here I have it. Generally you want your lighting to be off to the side a little bit, again, to provide just a little bit of depth. Not too far, we don't want to look like this. And if it's in the front, remember, it just washes you out a little bit, which to be fair, some people like, but just having a little bit of that depth, a little bit of those shadows off to the side works nicely. So if you have something like this, set it just off to the side, like put it on the edge of your monitor. Of course, how does this work with glasses? Let's see. It actually works great. And one of the reasons for that is that this is really diffuse. So I'm gonna turn this down because it's really, really bright, but this is actually really diffuse light, meaning it's not that really harsh light that we'll actually look at in a second with some other stuff. But that's one key to lighting with glasses, is diffuse light. You can still see it. If I go up, you can see it, but again, pretty nice light here for glasses. Of course, we know ring lights are super, super popular. And I just want to quickly point out, sometimes you can get a couple of lights, have something to light the background, something to light your face, match the light and the color tone. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one off. So now I've got the ring light here, again, off to the side a little bit. And one of the things you wanna make sure of, no matter what kind of lighting you get, is that it has different color temperatures. So you'll see here as I change between different color temperatures, depending on your skin tone, the time of day, the other lighting you might have around, you wanna make sure that you are matching that so that it looks natural. So for me, in this lighting, I would go with something like this. You can make it brighter or darker, but this is actually a pretty inexpensive ring light. They have much bigger, nicer ones, but you can see this is actually providing a lot of light here. And as we know, Glasses and ring lights don't always work out so well. Just remember, even if it's okay for you, think about the people that you are meeting with and how this might be a little bit distracting if they're trying to make eye contact with you, they're trying to look, but they just constantly are seeing that ring. So I'd say if you have glasses, ring lights are not the best. It can feel like there are infinite options for lighting, so I'm just showing you a few and realize that there isn't a one-size-fits-all here, unfortunately. It really does depend on how much space do you have? Do you want a light that's portable? Do you need more than one light? So one of the other lights that I wanted to show you, so this is actually the light, tiny little thing. You can see how small it is. It can fit in a purse super easily. This is the light I take with me when I'm traveling, or if I'm staying in a hotel and I need a little bit of fill light. So this can get pretty bright when I turn it on. You can see really, really bright, but I've got it here on a tripod, so it's easy to move around. You can see that it's not actually plugged in. Sorry, I'm trying not to hit the camera too much, but this is super powerful. It's not plugged in. The battery on this thing lasts so long. It's amazing. So let's turn that down a little bit, or a lot bit. And again, we've got that full color spectrum. So super helpful. We can change that. Again, we want it to be a little more here, like that's pretty good lighting. And of course, checking that with our glasses, again, it actually works out pretty well. So if I look up, we can see there are times where, because it's that, you know, small cube, that we'll see that. But this is actually, I'm standing, this is directly at eye level to me right now. And we've got the light coming through nice and easily. And if I tilt up, it's up in the corner, but not really a huge issue, but it can be a matter of personal preference for sure. And finally, we've got our higher end lights like LED panels. So these are great if you've got a setup where you can have a permanent light in there. You'll see they can take up a little bit more space, generally should be plugged in. Batteries don't always last that long, but you've got a lot of flexibility in terms of, you know, how diffuse the light is or how focused it is. This is actually on like the lowest setting because this gets really bright. Should we check it out? Let's check it out. We're gonna go all the way bright. So you can see how powerful this is. Now, normally I would recommend 2. I have 2, I only have 1 set up because I just occasionally use it as a fill light when it starts to get a little bit later in the day here. But one of the things you can do, whether you have glasses, or another thing to keep in mind is actually the strain on your eyes. Let me turn this down because it's getting a little bright. So one of the things you want to be thinking about is actually the strain on your eyes. So if you have a light or 2 lights, that would be known as a key light, so your main light, and then a fill light, just again to kind of keep some of those shadows and contours showing on our face, then sometimes that can be hard on your eyes. If you have that set up all day, you're in meetings all day, for some people that can give you headaches, that can make you fatigued faster. So one of the other really nice things about LED lights like this, and you see how powerful it is that you can actually angle it up to the ceiling and you can have the light bounce off the ceiling. So most people have white ceilings, which provide a really nice fill light. The light bounces off, it fills up nicely. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So here I am on my main camera. The windows are closed, so you can see the lighting in here isn't great. The camera's kind of struggling. So now let me go turn on that LED light and I'm gonna point it up to the ceiling so that it's not blaring in my eyes. And here we are with just that LED light providing that nice fill. You can see how much it brightened up everything, and I don't have to worry about a light kind of coming in and giving me those headaches. And of course, since there isn't a light looking straight at me and it's bouncing off the ceiling, there isn't actually anything to reflect back in my glasses. So remember, if you have the option of nice window light, that should always be your first go-to. If you want something small and easy and portable, we showed a number of options there. And if you want something a bit more powerful, I showed some options for that as well. Are there other options? Of course, but one of my big goals in working with financial advisors and financial planners is to help you avoid analysis paralysis. So just know something is always better than nothing. Little baby steps make a huge difference in the long run, and be sure to subscribe for future videos like this.